I got money on my mind. I'm just trying to get some dough. I ain't picking up my line unless it's money on the phone.
So Reese, man, to get it started, we know you out here killing it in the resale game. But we want to know like how you got started in this. Like, what was your beginning to this flipping game?
Yeah, so for me, always came down to having a love for shoes, right? Like that's where it started for me. Um, I would say I've been reselling in general, reselling about 10 or 11 years. And that started with just like buying two pairs of Jordan 11s, like Space Jams or whatever, flip one, make some profit, and keep the other one.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it started there, and then just over time, grabbing the right shoes, getting lucky a whole bunch of times on some really good ones. And then, I got frustrated about not being able to cop because of bots and all that. So then I taught myself all the things that, what I'm saying, go with that. And then I pretty much just jumped in that world.
Man, not being able to cop because of bots is tragic, bro. Like,
that sounds familiar, right?
No, like for real though, bro. Like, but before we even deep dive into like the bots and everything, for the audience that's not really too familiar with the reselling industry, I know you just said, you would buy shoes and everything like that. Can you just kind of explain like the whole resale industry and like how there's a ton of money in that market?
Yeah, so pretty much when it comes to reselling, anything that is scarce or limited edition, something that's only made, that's going to be made one time and you'll never see it again, that kind of stuff, that stuff is going to hold their value. Or something with, the right person's name attached to it, that's Jordan. Like that tells you that, you know what I'm saying? Like it just has to have that right name to go with it. So, there's always going to be more demand than supply when something's limited edition. If it's, you know what I'm saying, if it's something nice, if it's something, just that people want, always going to be more demand than supply. You might be 2 million people wanting a particular pair of shoes, and there literally might be 50,000 pairs. There might be 20,000 pairs. There might be 10,000 pairs. You know what I'm saying? So that's going to drive the value up. People going to pay for what they want.
Real shit. And I kind of want to go back to like your first flip. You said your first flip started out with a pair of Space Jam. Do you remember how much you made off your first flip?
There was at the time, I think it was like 180.
There was 180.
I sold them for 4.
Damn. Hey, that's a good ass come up.
Shit, you paid for the shoes that was on your feet.
It was like 200 after tax then, right?
That's what I was after. I was after like paying for the shoes that I was wearing for myself. You know what I'm saying? That's where it started for me.
Just starting out like that. But that's a good way to fall into a hustle for anybody that's listening. Like it's something that you were already into, something you're already knowledgeable about. And then like it's just like once you realize you can make a profit, it was no looking back from there.
And I kind of want to get into another point that you were talking about. And you said, you got to be able to find the right pair of shoes and the right things, because that's another thing I see whenever people kind of get into this game. They'll fall behind the hype beast, and they don't really realize, this is not going to be a good shoe to resell. That's not going to be a good shoe to resell. Do you remember your first time, like kind of getting a shoe like that and you kind of went bust?
Oh man, that happens. And that still happens to this day. That always happens. You know what I'm saying? It's always kind of that, like, I'll give you a great example. Right now, that's, to me, is Yeezy 350s, right? I can get a ton of, like, per drop, I might grab 10 or 20 pairs. You know what I'm saying? And then, but the thing is like now I don't really go for them so hard because that's the issue. Yeezy 350s are good for the hold. You know what I'm saying? So when you're first starting out, you want turn and burn. Like, everything that you get, you want to turn that around and bring that money back. You know what I'm saying? Like instantly. You want to constantly bring that money back.
You don't want nothing you have to sit on for months.
Yeah, you don't want to sit on them for months. Like if you have the extra money, you know what I'm saying, to sit on those things and still be able to cop other things to flip, then yeah, that's cool. But if it's like I got $500 and I got $250 tied up in this pair of shoes that I'm waiting on to go up $50 or $100 in 6 to 8 months, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not really
not worth the investment.
And with like going after those flips, is there a certain method that you're kind of looking into? Because I know you say it still happens, but is there a certain method that you kind of go into? Like, how are you figuring out how much quantity is being made and things like that?
Quantities are always hard. There's a lot of like speculation when it comes to quantities. You know what I'm saying? Like, before the drop, you never really know quantities because then those numbers never really get released. So you're mainly kind of judging on hype level. What on Twitter, follow a lot of sneakerheads, Instagram, follow a lot of sneakerheads. You'll see what people are talking about. You'll see what what I'm saying, the drops that are coming out, like the ones that are gonna be those ones, And then there's also the sleepers. There's a bunch of sleepers that you're like, man, like I don't know if I want to spend 175, 180, 200, whatever it is on this particular shoe, and then you don't, and then the shoe ends up being worth like 800, and then you sitting there looking silly. But there's no way to gauge it. It's luck.
So okay, like I know you said they got a whole stock market for these things, right? It's like
for sure.
Yeah, StockX. So we know that the supply is not really like put out there, like the total supply. So like how they determine it, just based off the demand and how many pairs people putting up there?
What you mean, like the price?
Yeah, like how they determine the price on StockX, like because if it's a limited release and like y'all all trying to get the same shoes, but y'all don't know how many shoes on the market, like if it kind of leaves the supply undefined.
Exactly. So it's kind of hard to gauge what a shoe is going to do, because usually if you pay attention to StockX, right, and StockX is, I would say, a good baseline, but you're gonna have like on some of the other selling sites, you might get $15, $20, $30, $40 for a shoe more, or you might get less. So you just gotta kind of pay attention to multiple markets. But the thing is like once everybody has the shoes, once your shoes are sold out, right, then all the people that hold the shoes control the price. So say there's 10,000, they all sell out. They all sell to resellers. 1,000 of the people use their mom's credit card, so they like, I got to get mom's this money back for she be tripping. So they gonna just whatever they can sell it for to get them off. That's what they gonna do. That that a few days after release is people like panic selling. So the other people, once all the panic sellers are gone, it kind of works for me. It always worked like, I'm gonna hold this shoe until I absolutely need the money, and then I'll sell. So then I'll kind of see what the market is, and I'll put like, it depends. Like there's been situations where I'm like, man, Travis Scott sixes. I was like, man, I'm kind of broke right now. These are going for like 800. I could hold out and get more, or I could just take the 800. I just sold them. You know what I'm saying? Like pay some bills. You know what I mean? Like
Hey, bro,
just hold them.
That's crazy because I literally just saw, well, like 2 months ago, I sold a pair of the Oilers, the Forest. I got them joints in 2018, and I got them. I paid $220 for them, and I sold them to my homie. I sold them to my homie for like $850, and I knew the value of it because that shoe's actually going for about $1,200 to $1,300.
That's insane.
It was the dead stock shoe, like never put on, nothing.
Okay, so for people who don't know what dead stock means, what is dead stock?
Never worn, never tried on, never laced up. If they came unlaced, they just in the box.
Original condition, like you literally
just to resell.
Either that or it's like
I got pairs that I've like just held, like pairs that I've like some certain ones that I just loved and I wanted to double up on, that I've had for like 5-6 years, where I wore the other pair and I just got another pair just sitting there brand new.
And that's how it was with those shoes. Like whenever you said, I was kind of like hard on some money. So I was like, hey, I got these shoes just sitting. I could probably get this amount of money for them, but let me just get them off to my homie. He want them. And I already know he gonna resell them. So I'm gonna just let him make his money too, and I'll make my money too. And we good.